Well, according to the Office of National Statistics, almost 1 in 3 women between the ages of 16 to 59 will experience domestic abuse in their lifetimes. In 2013 to 14, the police recorded more than 800,000 domestic abuse incidents in England and Wales. 80 women were killed by a current or ex-partner between April 2018 and March 2019, a 27% increase on the year before. Two women a week are killed by a current or former partner in England and Wales alone. In 2009, Claire Wood was murdered by her ex-boyfriend, who had a history of violence against women, named after her, and in response, Clare's Law was introduced, a scheme designed to protect women from new partners with a history of violence. The scheme designates several ways for police officers to disclose a person's history of abusive behaviour to those who may be at risk of such behaviour. It has 2 main elements: a right to ask, which allows members of the public, including a domestic partner, to request information from the police about a potential abuser, and a right to know, which is in certain circumstances permits police to disclose such information to the public or on their own initiative. It was reported by Bolton News this year that more than 1,000 requests for information about a potential abuser were handled by Greater Manchester Police in that year. The Lancashire Post reported similarly that more than 1,000 requests for information about potential abusers were handled by Lancashire Police in that year as well, which gives an indication about the scale of the problem. However, today, policing watchdog Her Majesty's Inspectorate for Constabulary and Fire and Rescue Services stated that Clare's Law was used so differently by individual forces it amounted to a postcode lottery. And too often, said the inspectors, police were neither working closely with colleagues from other agencies nor giving the threat of violence the resources it deserves. Zoe Billingham, HM Inspector of Constabulary, said chiefs had to get a grip. When you look at the hierarchy of priorities within police forces, very often violence against women and girls doesn't actually feature as the top 3, she said. Given the scale of the epidemic, it's vital that it does. The in-depth examination of police responses to violence against women and girls from the watchdog found problems, unevenness and inconsistencies in dealing with this epidemic of violence against female victims in England and Wales. This is fundamentally unacceptable. Violence against women must be a fundamental priority, and it doesn't emerge out of the blue. We need a conversation about the relationship between violence, gender and inequality. There are behaviour patterns that can be spotted beforehand. We need public services that are properly resourced and equipped to respond to this huge social scourge in our society. Services that cater to different women's needs. It cannot solely be state-led, but must look at a range of preventative, community-oriented solutions. And just as importantly, we need leadership and champions across every sector of public life, or this horrendous problem will continue to go under-addressed.